Alright, hopefully this video goes smoothly. Use this video as a review for Friday's exam. Talk to Miss Idle about some issues, which I am dumbfounded. You know, we've been working on this for months, and Miss Idle and I have done some research and kind of come up with different ideas, making things easier for you. I don't know how else we can make it easier. I know Mr. Teeters knows it's a little outside of the norm, because usually it's just one way and you just gotta learn it and go on. We're trying to make life a little bit easier. But anyway, follow on with the video, use it for a review on Friday's test. We will be asking you to go from one form to another, and just being expected to know without any notes. So let's go ahead and begin. First example, we're going to put this one in factored form. What you must be able to do and recognize is what form it's already in. Well, right now it's in standard form. So we're going from standard to factored form. Well, what does that mean? I need a Punnett square. That's what that means. Okay. Now, before I start filling this thing in, I want to take care of something here. In front of x squared, not when they're put one there, is -1. What I want you to do in this particular problem, to write this correctly in factored form, is you need to divide B and C by -1. I don't like A being negative at all, okay? So you at least need to take care of the negative. Now, here's how we're going to rewrite this. If I factor out the negative, I'm just going to divide everything by -1. Watch what happens. This divided by -1, -1 divided by -1 is +1. So I got +1x squared. Positive 7x divided by -1 is -7x. Then divide the last term, we get -8. Guys, that's how you factor. Make things a little easier on yourself. Okay? Now, I know deep down A is negative. Okay? A is negative. Now remember from Monday's video, what did we factor out? -1. I'm going to keep -1 in that box and let him just chill for a minute. Okay? This in the middle is what I need to use the Punnett square with. I have a middle term, and I have my first term here is 1x squared minus 8. Remember, -1's chilling for the meantime. He's going to be part of the answer. Okay? So when I write my answer right here, -1 is out in front. Alright? Now since I have a middle term, I'm going to put x here and x here. Now, let's do what we do. Let's multiply. It looks familiar. 1 times -8. -8. Now I need to find two numbers that add to give me that middle term, -7. But they still multiply to give me -8. Now -8 times 1 is -8. And when I add -8 and 1, it gives me -7. So I can put those two numbers anywhere I want. Okay, well that's what I did there. So let's go ahead and factor rows and columns. So bottom row, closest sign is negative. Talking about this guy right here, just pointed an arrow to it. Greatest common factor of 8 and 8 is 8. And if I take care of the top row, they both have an x in common. So I got x minus 8 here. Almost there. Now I need to take care of that. Well, what's the first column have in common? X. And the second column, 1 and 8, greatest common factor is 1. And since that's positive, I'm going to bring that right here. The sign closest to your answer is the sign you use. Now all that, is the factored form of the original equation. Alright? Let's try something in vertex form. Let's try to write this same one in vertex form. Okay? Now this one is kind of... If you look at the diagram, remember from last week, if you're going from standard to vertex, S to V, standard to vertex, S to V, is the negative B over 2A. Okay? This is where you label. A is negative 1, B is 7, C is 8. Notice I went back to the original problem. Now let's plug and chug here. Opposite of B, opposite of 7 is negative 7 over 2 times A. Now, I forgot something. A is not 1, it's negative 1. Okay, so I need to write negative, oh my goodness, 2 times negative 1. Alright, let me fix that real quick. So now I got negative 7 divided by negative 2. Well, that equals 3.5. That is H. Now think about the three things that we need. We need A. We need H. We're writing it in vertex form. I hope you guys remember vertex form. That is A parentheses X minus H squared plus K. That's how we're going to rewrite that function. Okay, now, well, I already got A, which is wonderful. It's negative 1, so I'm going to plug in negative 1 here. X minus 3.5 squared. Now, how do I find K? Well, I got to plug and chug H into the original function. So I'm going to plug 3.5 into every X into this equation. So I'll have that square plus 7 times 3.5 plus 8. Let me do a little bit of math in my head. I think it's going to be... Someone's going to have to check this. I think it's 20.25 equals K. So if I'm going to rewrite this, which I need some more room, I'm going to write it in a different color. Let's go red. So my answer would be f of x equals negative 1 parentheses x minus 3.5 squared plus 20.25. And therein lies my answer. Alright? Okay. So we took care of going from standard to factored and standard to vertex. Okay? Now, let's go from... let's see. Let's go from factored to standard. So let's write something in factored form real quick. Let's go f of x equals x plus 2, 2x minus 3. Now, this one's easy, especially if you're going to putting it in standard form. Okay? Now, if you got that diagram, you can use a Punnett square. Now, factors go on the outside of the Punnett square. Okay? So I'm going to put x and 2 here. There's my x plus 2. And then here's my 2x. And here's my minus 3. This one's really easy. Okay? And you fill it in like a multiplication table. If I'm looking at right here, well, I'm basically taking this x times 2x. Well, what's x times 2x? 2x squared. Okay? Let's go below that. 2 times 2x. Well, that's 4x. This will be negative 3x. And this will be negative 6. Always, if you have middle terms, you have to combine them. So I got to combine these two guys right here. Well, 4x plus negative 3x, which is 4x minus 3x, that's 1x. So when I write this in standard form, okay, I'm going to have 2x squared plus 1x minus 6. You may have one like that on the test. It is that simple. Alright? Now, let's do something else that's crazy. Okay, let's say I give you one. Let's see what example I'm on. Example 4. Alright, let's say I give you one that's in vertex form. Well, and we want to put this in standard form. Okay? Well, let's put it in standard form. What would I do? I need to take care of what? This right here. That x minus 1, it's a factor twice. Kind of like a factor. I'm going to use the Punnett square. And guys, at any point, you may want to pause this video because I'm trying to squeeze all this information again. The nice thing about videos is you can always go back and rewatch them. I hope that you do. So here's how this works. X times x is x squared. Negative 1x. Negative 1x. Positive 1. Okay, fill in that Punnett square. It's like you're multiplying, filling in a multiplication table. Always combine the diagonal terms here. Okay, not the first and the last term, but the middle terms. So negative 1x. These should be the same if it's in vertex form. The negative 1x, negative 1x. What I'm trying to do is, let's expand this x minus 1 square, and you have to write it like this. Instead of x minus 1 square, we need to write it as x squared minus 2x. This should look familiar. Oh, poo. Plus 1. Parentheses. So I replace that. I don't know how much I can highlight it. That with this right here. And don't forget the plus 4 at the end. Now what do? Well, I got to distribute 3 with that. So that's going to make it 3x squared minus 6x plus 3 plus the 4. Last thing, 3x squared minus 6x. These terms will combine. Plus 7. They will combine. Okay? Alright. guys, I think that should cover it. Be prepared to go any route you can. I could actually go from factored to vertex form, but you have to go, if you follow that guide, if you're going from factored to vertex or vertex to factored, you have to go through standard form first anyway. Alright? So keep that in mind. Now I could go ahead and put this in vertex form because I got B, I got A, I can find H and K and be done. Alright? But be prepared to do and go back and forth between all the different forms. Alright? Alright, good luck. Don't forget, study Island. Island of the study. Later.